Hi Cam, how are you this morning?
Hey, yeah, good. Yourself?
Very good. Wee bit chilly at our end of the country today.
It is fresh out there. A bit of snow around.
We had a -5 start this morning here in Central Otago. What did you guys get to?
Oh, I think we were too with a bit of fog clutching the mountains, so cold enough.
Nice. Don't get a rainforest without that kind of weather, do you?
No, that's right. That's right.
So thanks Cam for your time. Thanks for answering some questions about your journey so far with coaching. So Cam's been very kind to talk to us about his journey so far and what it's been like for him, both prior and post being coached by the hospitality company. So we've got some questions. We're just going to rip into it, Cam. So feel free to go off on wherever your thoughts take you. I'm sure everything you say will be really valuable to those people listening. So just want to start by telling us a bit about your business and how you got started.
Yeah, no, sounds good. So we're a 75-seater gastro pub located in Te Anau, bordering beautiful Fiordland National Park. Um, we took over in June of 2016. Back then, it was a very different business to what it was today. Back then, we had myself and my partner, Selena, were very important parts of the business. There was us, and we had 4 staff members. So only 6 of us in total. We're open 5 days a week, Wednesday to Sunday, lunch and dinner. Wasn't a lot of systems in the place, so we were the system. Since then, we've grown the business, and we currently employ 21 amazing team members. And yeah, we're currently open 6 days a week, shut on Mondays, lunch and dinner. So open from 11 o'clock. And yeah, the business has changed dramatically in the time we've here. Obviously, we got the peak of tourism, so our business swelled with that increase of tourism, and then we've obviously had the impacts of COVID down here, which has changed it as well. But they've all been learning curves, and yeah, it's a great little place. Te Anau's an awesome spot to live, and we're really well supported by a really great community down here. So yeah, that's a little bit about our business.
You're definitely one of the lucky few living in that beautiful piece of the country, aren't you? Stiana had a bit of a rough road prior to COVID as well. COVID wasn't your first bump in the road that season, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, we had big floods through in Milford Sound, which wiped out the Milford Road on the 3rd of February, 2020. So we were impacted quite a lot with that. There was no passage through to Milford for about 3 weeks. So it had a huge effect on tourism flow into town. So we thought we were just sort of getting out of that as we got into March, and COVID sort of reared its ugly head and really changed things for us massively. But yeah, so we had a bit of a bumpy road that season. It still managed to be the best year that we had. So it sort of goes to show how busy we were in the lead up to that. So to hit COVID was a huge drop off. Even the few days leading into lockdown, we were still, I think, on the Saturday or Sunday night, we'd still done 180 covers for dinner. So we were still fairly busy, and then the breaks went on pretty quick. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, can you tell us why did you reach out to the hospitality company?
Yeah, so we reached out to the hospitality company. We'd been talking about it for a couple of years. My partner Selena was she was really keen to sort of get some coaching in and just find out from people who know what they know what they're doing. Whereas us, we were sort of trying to learn our way. Our first business that we've owned. So we talked about it for a couple of years, and we just felt COVID was a great reset point. Obviously, the business was shut, and we really wanted to use lockdown to benefit us both ways. We wanted to utilize that to spend a little family time. So, we've got a 5.5-year-old Eli and a 3-month-old Oliver. So at that time, Oliver wasn't on the scene. So there was just Eli. We wanted to spend some family time, but we also wanted to utilize it to benefit the business. So we reached out to the hospitality company early on, probably early April. And we benefited from some regional partner funding to get us started. and yeah, we just thought it was a great opportunity. The business had grown on us as tourism had got bigger and bigger over the years, to the point where it was a pretty big operation. We were borderline $2.5 million worth of turnover. Everything was in our two heads. My head was only so big. The pressure was immense. We were hugely involved with operations. The business didn't really run unless we were there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably, there's quite a few of those businesses operating like that throughout the country.
Pretty familiar to me.
And yeah, and we sort of realized that it was unsustainable. Tourism potentially was unsustainable in the way it was going, and our business certainly was unsustainable in the way it was going. Our brains were only so big, and we could only work so many hours, and it was starting to impact life outside of work. Reasonably heavy, weren't seeing a lot of Eli, and we didn't get a heck of a lot of family time together. Going on holiday was stressful. It was stressful in the lead up to going on holiday to make sure, you'd written 10 pages worth of handover notes. So everything that would happen in those 2 weeks would hopefully go well. It was stressful coming back. There weren't systems in place to support people. So it would take a week or 2 weeks to get things back on an even keel coming back from holiday. So there was just a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. And yeah, we really thought COVID was the best opportunity to allow us the time without the business in operation to work on some of those things and get better.
That's a great attitude. So what has the impact of that coaching been? You obviously had that big kickstart during COVID where you had brain space and a bit of energy to be able to get started. But what has the impact of coaching been since then? And that's 12 months ago. What's happened since then?
Well, the impact's been massive on our business. It's a little bit hard to quantify in a conversation, but it's had a huge impact on us, a massively positive impact. It's changed our relationship with the business. It's changed how we work on a day-to-day basis. It's been extremely positive. We've had good financial results come out of it. We've built a strong team culture, we didn't really have a team culture, to be honest. It was prior to coaching, it was driven by us, and it involved a bit of laugh and a few giggles and things like that, and that was about it. We didn't have a system, or we didn't really understand it. So yeah, coaching's had a huge impact on us. It's made us build systems, which every system that we had was in here, which made going away or having days off stressful because you had to get that out. So we've now got systems. We've digitalized finally. We got rid of James will like this. We got rid of the paper diary. So we now, every team member in our business utilizes 4 or 5 digital systems that we use every day within our business to operate it. So that's been awesome.
Tell me, Cam, on systems, what would you give me your top financial system that you use?
Loaded reports, outstanding system. I love it. I love numbers. I get quite excited about loaded reports. So it's just such a good, easy to use system. Once you get your head around sort of implementing it and putting all your ingredients in, it sounds like a pretty daunting job at the start of it. But once you're there, it's so good. I was one of those chefs that I did cost of goods on a spreadsheet at best, and most of the time it was on a bit of paper. And I'd scribble down at that point and at that time, mainly work out what the protein cost was, and then really have a bit of a rough guess, dollar on mash, dollar on veg, 50 cents on jus, all that type of stuff. And I didn't really have any idea. And in fairness, I had no idea what my dishes were costing. We were getting to the end of financial years and sitting down with accountants and, working out, net profit and gross profit and sort of going, it could be better. But 12 months is a long time in business, and you can't really afford to wait that long to work out what's going on.
I totally agree. So, what about how has coaching benefited your time? What does it look like now? What does a normal day look like for you now as compared to 12 months?
Normal day for me now is pretty good, actually. My relationship with the business is completely different. Prior to coaching, I was still the head chef of the business. I was working operationally every single day. Selena, my partner, she was doing most of the paperwork and paying the bills and things like that. So but there was still a lot of time where we couldn't work on it. I was, 99% of my time was operations, and then I'd pay bills or that sort of stuff outside of that time. Working weekends, all that sort of stuff. Right now, as we've got 21 amazing staff members in this team, I'm no longer involved in operations unless required. So over long weekends or holidays and stuff, I jump behind the bar or help out prepping in the kitchen. But yeah, I no longer do that. I drop my son off at school at 9 o'clock, and I pick him up at 3 o'clock, which is pretty awesome. And then, I'm a much more efficient person. I do all the general manager role. We still currently do the admin, all the admin, paying bills and that type of stuff. But we are looking for someone to do that, to free up a bit more time. But you're just much clearer in the week. I got time to work on the business. I got time to look at the finances. So yeah, I start about 9:30, get into my work, have half-hour lunch break, and then I'm home just after 3 o'clock, pretty much every day, Monday to Friday. So
Well, congratulations.
yeah,
That's
that's good. It's awesome.
making money. I like numbers too, and that net operating profit at the bottom is pretty rewarding. But I think what you've just described trumps it for me. It's that having that brain space to be able to work on your business and be creative, as opposed to things just seeming. If I come up with an idea, it's going to cost me more time and more energy and more work.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we've sort of covered what your relationship looks like with the business over the last 12 months. So let's go with what advice would you give owners? There's, like you said, it took you and Selena 2 years to decide to get some help.
Yeah.
What advice would you give people that are considering coaching with the hospitality company?
Well, it's pretty simple, really. Like, just jump into it. There's so much out there to learn. You can improve every aspect of your business with the coaching from the hospitality company. You guys have got a wealth of knowledge. You've been there, done that. You've ticked all those boxes. You've done the hard yards. You've also done the time when it's easier and it's systemized. I think you just got to do it. Every week that goes by is a percentage of net operating profit that you're letting slip by. And opportunities are few and far between. One thing I probably want to talk about a little bit as well was the open book management that we implemented through guidance of James and yourself. At first, I was a bit apprehensive, probably like most people, sort of, well, what are we doing, opening the books to, every team member, and no, they can't see that, and well, it just didn't seem right. But that's probably had the biggest impact, I think, on our business. We now have weekly huddles every single week with senior management team and anyone else that wants to come along to those. It's a nice casual environment. We have morning tea, coffee, and we talked about last week, and we plan for the week ahead. That's I now walk through the business, and there's conversations about turnover and sales and how was our NPS score, and just all these things that were completely foreign to us pre-coaching that are now just part of our day-to-day life and part of our team members' lives, but also seeing them get interested about business and improve their knowledge and skills been extremely rewarding for me, sitting back and you're having sous chefs that are talking about net operating profit and team members that actually know how to increase turnover.
Yeah.
We sit there as owners and go, oh, we need to sell more, but we don't know what we're selling or why we're selling it or how to sell it. So that sort of stuff's been outstanding. I love the huddles. I live and breathe for that stuff every week. That's where I get my energy from.
There's some people listening to this, Cam, they won't know what you're talking about with open book management and huddles. If you had a couple of lines to tell somebody what we mean when we say open book management,
yeah.
What is open book management to you as an operator?
So open book management is literally opening the book. So the team members are aware of what the turnover was, what the outgoings are, wages, all those critical lines on your P&L sheet, just opening them up to them and them being aware of overheads and outgoings and income and all that type of stuff. And we break it down into sort of fun ways of how to measure that. there's also we also measure the guest experience and how people find their experience at the Fat Duck, and that's pretty rewarding. Rewarding part of it too. I get chefs that are stepping up onto the grill section that come out after service every night to find out if they've hit 100%, and that's how they judge how they're going on a new section, and that's the type of stuff that I find absolutely rewarding. But yeah, open book is about, well, it's about sharing a problem. I find, pre coaching, all the numbers and everything were in my head: recipe cost, turnover. I'd come to work and I'd look at the P&L sheet for the previous month, and my heart would break a little bit. And I'd go, gee, and I'd come out and I'd be in a bad mood, and and in some ways that would be sort of taken out on the team indirectly. And now it's a problem shared. We all understand those numbers. We all come up with solutions on how to fix them. We take sort of 10, 15 minutes at the end of every huddle to talk about ways to improve, and that's outstanding. It's getting a different set of eyes looking at the same thing. And the more people I think you've got involved in those big decisions, the much better result you get. And also it's an opportunity for us to learn too. There's a kitchen hand, he might come up with an outstanding idea, and it's happened in our business too. But if you don't ask, you don't get. And it's a way of us sharing that information with the team and asking for ideas on how to get better results.
And I don't know about you, but I always get a little bit of a kick out of having people having that light bulb moment when they realise that restaurants or hospitality is a serious business.
Yeah.
And I describe open book management as open book reporting is showing people the numbers, and open book management is allowing them an opportunity to improve the numbers.
Yeah.
I think that they're never going to forget that. It doesn't matter
No.
with you for 5 years or 10 years, or they go into another industry. Even you've really empowered their understanding of how business works, and given them the confidence to do something about it.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I've been in this industry 20 years, and I've never learned any of these things. And I've worked with some outstanding people, some great chefs, but not once did they teach me about business or about finance or how to make money. And
Nobody.
that's been, and to see the junior team members in our business actually understanding and improving their knowledge on that, that just excites me, and that I feel proud of that people can come to our business and they can leave better people, and not just about food or wine. They're better business people, and they're better individuals.
Yeah.
And that sort of comes back to that culture and values and those sort of things that we're trying to drive through our business, and just trying to improve every aspect. Wake up in the mirror and want to get better.
Yeah, good job. So, what are your final thoughts on the hospitality company and what it's providing to the industry as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's outstanding what you guys are doing. I think every business like myself that we can transform and create better businesses, that creates a better industry, and competition's healthy. And the better industry that we have and the better standards that we set, the better we are, the better businesses we're going to have, the more money, the better work-life balances we're all going to have. Hospitality over the years has created, and it's been its own downfall, but it's created an interesting sort of culture around where we've got this culture about bad pay and long hours, and we're working when everyone else is having fun, and ill treatment and all those sort of things. And those days need to be, if they're not gone, they have to be gone. And as owners, we've got a responsibility to the industry and the people that we lead and employ to make them better people. And what you guys are doing by getting out there and talking to owners and managers is slowly and person by person, we're changing the industry for good.
Mm.
And it's the way it should be. We should be attracting. You go to other parts of the world, and hospitality is, kids grow up wanting to be involved in hospitality. And the thing that really saddens me is I was one of those kids, 20 something years ago, and now there's not many out there. They don't have that relationship with it, and we need to bring that back. It's an industry that's taken me right throughout the world. Met some outstanding people, made some money, seen the world, and it's an industry that it's rewarding all the time. Yeah, sure, there's challenging days, but we get to put smiles on people's faces every single day of the week, and high numbers of them too. And we make people feel good. Hospitality. One thing COVID's taught us is people need hospitality
I know.
in their lives, and I think that's important. I think we just, as a country and as individuals, we just need to get better at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're doing that with the help of what you guys are doing and the tools that you guys are giving us.
Thanks, Cam. That's it's nice to hear that actually. So, yeah, I certainly found it as a coaching client myself years ago that as a young hospitality professional, that there was so much coolness attached to it, and so much wanted to be part of it, and that just had watered down over years under the
Yeah,
financial pressure really of the industry that people's knowledge hadn't kept up. So, thanks very much. That's awesome. I'm really proud of you. You guys have done some amazing stuff. I met Selena in March last year, just before COVID, a couple of weeks before,
yeah,
oh, no, sorry, start of April, a couple of weeks before it was all announced.
yeah,
Uh, and even then, she was pretty full of energy and pretty
yeah,
bubbly.
yeah.
This kind of hit the ground running. So I'm really,
And that, sorry, coming back to it, I've sort of forgotten about that. That was probably the main instigator of coming. She went to that course and that you guys held in Queenstown with you and
Alexis.
Lexus, and she came back from that just absolutely buzzing. And I said to her right then and then, I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's just get involved. So that was probably the light bulb moment for me. Selena probably happened a little bit earlier, but she had so much energy and passion from that, and that sort of just it's sort of seeped through the whole team over the last 12 months. It's been awesome. So we've now currently got 5 managers on the course with you guys over the next 20 weeks. And it's pretty, just even having some conversations with them after yesterday, you can see the energy that's creating too, and that's pretty cool.
So rewarding teaching people stuff, empowering them with all of that
Oh,
knowledge. Very cool.
massive.
Oh, well done, Cam. Tell Selena too. I'm stoked for you guys that you've had that success. James and I get a big kick about giving people information and teaching them tools, but at the end of the day, the mahi comes from you guys, and you had to take it and apply it. And I know for myself that it's not easy. It's rewarding, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
So congratulations on your discipline and application. Well done. Good job, mate.
Cheers, Liz.